Hi friends, and welcome back to the channel. Happy March, everybody. It has been maybe like a couple days into March, but I cannot believe that we are already into the third month of 2026. That's crazy. But you know what the beginning of March means? It means we gotta pick out our March TBRs. Now, as of currently for my February TBR, I have read 3 out of the 6 books on my February TBR. That was a lot better than last month and such with January and whatever. Let me double check real fast. Yeah, I've read 3 out of them so far, and I might be able to read another one maybe at the end of this month, but we shall see. But as you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to be having these TBR cards pick my March TBR. Basically what I have here is I have a stack of 52 poker TBR cards, which are prompts that help fight that TBR overwhelm. So all of these are kind of like on like playing cards pretty much. So you've got like the 2 of hearts or whatever, and that prompt is read the next book in a series or things like that. Or you've got one which is like read a book with an illustrated cover or things like that. So basically the way that this is going to work, I'm just going to kind of like shuffle them kind of like randomly, and then whatever I am feeling, then I will do that one specifically. I do a pretty good job at shuffling cards. I'm still working on it, but it's okay. So we're going to go kind of in like this. And then I'm going to pick one right here. Let's pick the first one. And that is this one. You guys can read that before I can, which is read a book that takes place in a library. Ooh, this is a fun one. I don't know if I actually have a physical one that takes place in a library. I might. One of the books that I can think of as of recently that I've been wanting to read for a while, it's a fantasy book where it has library in the title, but I'm not too sure off the top of my head. Let me look it up actually. Okay. One that I had in mind that I have on like my Kindle TBR is The Wren in the Holly Library, but that actually takes place in a fantasy like version of New York rather than just like a single library in general. There is one that I do have on here that's not on my physical TBR like cart specifically, and that is The Midnight Library. I know that takes place in a library. Let me go grab that real fast. All right, I found it, friends, but this is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, I believe. And basically what it is it follows Nora. Her life has been going from bad to worse, and then she finds herself transported to the Midnight Library, where each book contains an alternate life, a possible world in which she made different choices. She is given what seems like the ultimate opportunity, a chance to undo her regrets and try each of the other lives she might have lived, but things aren't always what she imagined they'd be, and soon her choices place the library and herself in extreme danger. I have heard a lot of good things about this book, and yeah, I think we're gonna do it for this one. So for prompt number 1, which is read a book that takes place in a library, we have The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. All right, that's the first poll that we have. Now we're gonna go on to the second poll. All right, gonna do a nice little shuffle of the cards. It's kind of facing towards me, but that's okay. All right, we're gonna spread it out again as much as we possibly can. These cards are kind of hard to spread, but I'll go with this one. You guys will be able to read it faster than I will. Ooh, pick a book with a heart, diamond, club, or spade on the cover. Okay, so I had a little bit of an interesting time the last time I picked that card. I'm trying to think of what other ones I potentially have that might either have a heart, a diamond, or a club on them. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I know that one that I know that for sure has like a diamond is Twisted by Emily McIntyre, which, you know, doesn't not appeal to me. It's the 4th, I think, in the series of her Never After series, I think. This one follows Yasmin Karam, daughter of one of the richest men in the world, has never known strife. So when her beloved father falls ill, she's determined to make his final days the happiest. His last wish, to see her marry a man of his choosing, except Yasmin's heart already belongs to someone else, a servant, a man her father would never consider worthy. Stuck between a rock and a hard place, Yasmin strikes a desperate deal with her father's right-hand man, Julian, not realizing he has his own twisted agenda. Julian Vasari, I think is how you pronounce his last name, has one goal: become the most powerful man in the world. He's built a future from broken bones and faded bruises, never caring who he hurt along the way. But when his mentor falls ill, he finds himself on the verge of losing everything, and he'll stop at nothing to inherit what was rightfully his, even if it means forcing a woman he can't stand into marriage. Yasmin is a brat who speaks out of turn, and he's the villain in her story, but he decides she'll be his no matter what it takes to convince her. So this one sounds interesting. I've heard that this one is very much related to a Aladdin kind of darker retelling, but there's a diamond on this cover and such, so that could 100% work for that one. Let me cut the camera real fast and kind of look around and see if I can find anything else.
One eternity later.
Okay, friends, after looking on my TBR cart, because I'm trying to keep all of these like mostly in the physical category and such, I could not find another one that either had like a heart, a club, or a spade on the cover. So for this prompt, we're going to be choosing Twisted by Emily McIntyre with the prompt of read a book with a heart, diamond, or club on the cover. So that is book number 2 on the TBR. I'm going to put this over to the side and we will pull for book number 3. Okay, next pull for book number 3. Again, try and spread these out as much as possible. We're going to go for one over here a little bit and such. You can read that. What's that say? Read the next book in a series. Oh, I love this prompt so much. Love it so much. The Two of Hearts and such. Oh, love this prompt. Okay, so I have my series I have my series shelf down here, and I also have my spring TBR up on my iPad so that if I have any like series that I can continue on with, then I will do that more than likely. So the next book in a series, so the ones that are kind of out of the picture for this prompt is Taurus Season, Powerless, Shatter Me, Red Rising, Off Track, and Better Than the Movies. So that means I have King of Envy, The Defender, The Winners, Can't Get Enough, or Yours Truly that I can choose from. What am I in the mood for? I'm trying to think of all the videos that I have planned out for the month of March, because I kind of plan out the videos before doing the TBR and then kind of align it towards that specifically. So, I already have a romance on the TBR, or it's technically a dark romance, so I don't really need to count it as that. My mind, mostly because I feel like I've had a big enough break in between like Us Against You because it's so heavy. I'm thinking The Winners specifically. It's very, very big and very, very long. And plus, I also kind of want to read this a little bit more in like the colder months and such. And I want to finish this series sooner rather than later. So this one is definitely a contender, but also so is King of Envy's been calling my name, and that's because I want to read it before King of Gluttony comes out later in April. So if I have this on my March TBR, then it's going to force me to read it. Pretty much. It's going to force me to read it. So, I don't know. I mean, I had ideas for both of these books potentially for a video. I just need to figure out which one I'm going to allocate to actually putting on my actual TBR itself, because I think both of these are going to get read, honestly. You know what we're going to do for this prompt specifically? I'm going to choose The Winners by Frederick Bachman because I have waited long enough to take a little bit of a break from Us Against You. And even though this story is really hard hitting and there's a lot of triggers and things like that, I really want to see how this story ends. And Frederick Bachman has slowly become one of my new favorite authors, like one of my new favorite fiction authors. So yeah, the winners is going to be for prompt number 3, which is read the next book in a series. Okay, so that's prompt number 3, which means we have 3 more prompts left. I'm gonna put this over here on the stack as well too, and then I will be back to pull for prompt 4. All right, friends, let's go again. We're gonna shuffle up this one more time. Now we're going to spread the cards out as evenly as we possibly can. And what am I feeling? Oh, since I perhaps this one, we'll do this one. Oh, wait, I need to show you guys before I can see it. All right, and this one is read a book that starts with the word you. All right, do I have any books that start with you? Let me see, actually. I might, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. Let me look up some books with that and see if any of them are on my radar. Oh, I have The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I don't know if I'm in the mood for that, you know? Yo, I might need a poll again, guys. I think I'm gonna pull again because nothing really is coming to mind when I think of that, honestly. I don't know. Maybe you guys will yell at me in the comments, but who the hell knows, to say the least. But we're gonna do another spread and such, spread out the cards as evenly as we possibly can. But again, that's probably not always gonna work. We'll go with this one since it's kind of sticking. Oh, there's 2 there. We'll go with this one. And that one, you guys can see that. This is still prompt 4 and such. And this one is pick a book with an illustrated cover. Done. That's super duper easy, to say the least. That is such an easy prompt because most of these are illustrated in a way. And like, let me see if I can find the difference between like illustrated and like real. I'm gonna take a look at my spring TBR and see what I could potentially do. So I have one of the illustrated ones that kind of pops out to me is The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. I don't know why. I've been wanting to read Meg Schaefer for a long time, and I got this as a book club pick back in July of 2024. And I mean, I've heard okay things about this one, but I don't know, to say the least. I've got that one. Would Shatter Me be considered illustrated? Oh, okay. Okay, on here it says cover art inspired by a photograph. So this is based off of a real thing and not actually illustrated. I think I'm gonna table this one for now because, again, I want to try and keep it illustrated as much as I possibly can. You know what? My friend's book, Isha Patel. Oh, yes, and this is an illustrated cover. Okay, so this is Off Track by Isha Patel. She's a friend of mine that I met in college. She's an author, and I have read so far I've only read one of her books. I read that as an e-arc when it was first coming out, so I could be the first one to have opinions to get people to actually buy the book. But this is her first ever traditionally published novel. She's been self-publishing for most of the time, and then she got picked up to be traditionally published. But this cover is 100% illustrated. So yeah, I feel like this works, honestly. Okay, so for prompt number 4, we have Off Track by Isha Patel, which is the read a book with an illustrated cover. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now we got 2 more prompts left. So again, I'm gonna put this away and I will be back for prompt number 5. Now we're going on to the 5th prompt, which means we have 2 more books left to choose. I think for these ones, I'm gonna try and aim for standalones because so far I have 3 series and such, 3 books that are in a series. So I'm gonna try and shoot for a standalone novel. All right, again, spread the cards out as evenly as you possibly can. Let's go for one over here. What's this one? All right. We'll have this one, which that prompt is read a book that takes place on a beach. Okay, I don't really want that vibe right now, so I'm making the executive decision to pull again. Yeah, it's my rules. my prompts, my TBR prompts, my rules. Anyways, okay, so we'll go with this one that I'm touching right here. And that prompt is that, which is pick a book with a found family. Okay, this one should be a little bit on the like easy-esque side of things. Let me look up some found family tropes. All right, I'm gonna look through here. I found a list of books with the found family trope. I have Six of Crows on here, and I have like those books like right here, but I don't know if I'm in that type of fantasy mood yet. Okay, one of these books I actually have on here, and that Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so this is a book that I've been wanting to read for a hot minute, and that is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. It's a very, very short book. I first heard about this from Kalila Denson. It's one of her favorite books of all time, and I just want to read it finally. So is it the time where I read Eleanor Oliphant? I don't know. We're gonna keep it in mind for now, at least. I have one book on here specifically that I've been wanting to read for a hot minute, and that is I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. And I'm just like trying to like figure out if there is any found family, because in Radio Silence and Loveless, there's been a found family aspect. So honestly, with the rate that everything's been going, I feel confident to kind of say that I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman does have the found family trope. So that is going to go with prompt number 5 of the list. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. I love Alice Oseman. I cannot wait for the 6th volume of Heartstopper to come out. I'm very sad that it's ending, but also it's needed its conclusion for a long time, and I'm really, really, really intrigued to see where Alice takes the boys and how and if they do end up surviving happily ever after as well too. So, but that's prompt number 5. So we've got one more. Again, I'm gonna put this away and then I will be back for the last prompt pull. Time for the 6th and final card pull. There's one book on here that I really need to hold myself accountable for, and I'm hoping that this last pull can give me something to latch on to when it comes to this book specifically. But if not, then it's probably going to end up in like a mood reading type of vlog sort of thing and such. So let's go for this one specifically. Feeling this card right here. Okay, it's upside down, and that one is pick a book that was gifted to you. Okay, I think this is weeks after, of course, or not really weeks after recording this. This is like a week that you'll be seeing this after I've recorded this. But technically, advanced reader copies are gifted books. Are they not? You know, I can make an argument for this if I could, but then again, I have a couple of other books on here that were gifted to me at some point, but right now, I know I said that most of these were gonna be on my physical TBR, and yes, they are, but there's this one book that I want to absolutely read, and that is The Witch and the Huntress by Luna McNamara, I think is how you pronounce her name. I got that as an e-art copy from NetGalley, and it's coming out in April, and I want to read that at least maybe a month in advance. So what I'm thinking is NetGalley sent it to me as a gift sort of thing for me to read it early so that there can be reviews pretty much for this book. So, you guys can see it probably around here in the screen and such like that, probably right here. And you know what? We're gonna have The Witch and the Huntress by Luna McNamara be the 6th book, which is read a book that was gifted to you. All right, that works. I might be stretching it, to be honest with you, but you know, I asked for the universe to give me a card that could fit this book, and this is the prompt that it gave me. So you know what? The universe is working for me. Have the universe work for you and such, kids. Anyways, I'm gonna come back with all the different books that I chose for my TBR. Let me put away the cards first so that I don't forget and I don't accidentally lose the cards again. Because not gonna lie, I've almost lost these cards multiple times, but it's okay. We don't talk about it. It's fine. Okay, friends, here are all the books that we have on my March TBR. So the first start off with the prompt of the library, which is the Midnight Library. Twisted is the one that was chosen by the Diamond prompt. The winners was the next book in a series. Off Track by Isha Patel was the one with an illustrated cover. And then I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman was the read a book with found family. And then obviously for the book that was gifted to me is The Witch and the Huntress. But yeah, those are all the books, honestly. We're gonna set them right here so they can be in the background and such. But yeah, that was so much fun. I really love doing these monthly TBRs, and don't get me wrong, when it comes to my seasonal TBRs, I try my best to get most of those done, but a lot of the time I prioritize my monthly TBRs compared to my seasonal TBRs. Like if I have mood reading vlogs and I'm not really feeling anything on my regular TBRs, then I can go to my seasonal TBRs. But yeah, that is the end of the video. Again, thank you guys again for watching. If you did like it, please make sure to like and comment down below. If you don't know what to comment down below, then tell me about the books that you have on your March TBR. Make sure you subscribe and turn on post notifications. I post every single Sunday and every other Wednesday. This is a Wednesday upload, so I will see you guys then. But again, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have an amazing day, week, month, and year. See you next Sunday, friends.